In this video we're going to go over basic cleaning and maintenance on the Fargo HDP printers. This will be for the 5000s, 5600s, and the 2s, the HDP2s. They're all the same kit, which we have here in front of us. So there's going to be, first of all, when you open the box, there will be instructions on how to do all this. Inside, there'll be cleaning swabs. It's like a big Q-tip. There'll be the dust removal cards. It has a sticky back that you'll run through, and then a alcohol cleaning card, as well as some cleaning pads. We'll put these in there to clean the outside, but I generally use them for rollers and the magnetic head. So it's important to keep the print head, these cleaning swabs right here, the print head clean. You can get a kind of a crystallized film on the head from dirt and debris they get on there, because it's actually heated when it transfers the ribbon to the film. So if you don't keep the dust and the debris off of that on a set schedule, it can affect the print quality. It can ruin the head, but when I inspect these, I see it a lot on the either edge of where the card goes through on the print head. Where it prints on the card size, there's crystallization on either side. So that's with the cleaning swab. This is to get dust out of the rollers, and then this is to clean the rollers. So we'll go through all of that. The first thing that we're going to want to do is you want to remove both the film and the ribbon for doing all of this. So we'll go ahead and remove that. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean the print head. So out of the package here, we will take one of the cleaning swabs. It's right here. Open it and show you what it looks like. This looks like a big Q-tip. So I'm going to put it back in there until we actually pull it out to use it. Grab my light in case we need some light in here to show you what we're doing. Alright, so let me see if I can situate this to where we show you what we're doing here. Okay, where you see that brown in there, that is the print head. And the green above that white line is where it actually prints. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take that cleaning swab, and we're going to carefully come into this gap here, and we're going to put it on that green part. It's going to cover the whole thing. It's a big swab, and we're just going to go back and forth. You don't have to push really hard, but put some pressure, a little bit of pressure on it, and go back 6 to 8 times on it. What I do is I'll go back 3 or 4 times, and then if you come back, I don't know if I can show you on the video, but you can see a little bit of debris, a little bit of dirt and stuff on there. Then I'll turn it over on the other side and go another 3 or 4 times. And then you can discard that. Alright, so that's cleaning the print head. Okay, so now we will go through cleaning the printer. And this is going to be through the print driver. We'll go ahead and remove again, we're going to leave the film and the ribbon out, remove the input tray, Now, here you need to be kind of careful. On the back side here, right here, it says, this side up, do not remove small liner strip with magnetic encoder installed. This has a magnetic encoder that's inline in the printer. Some of the older printers, especially from the banks and the financial institutions, they had a wider bay, and they had a mag encoder that would actually go down like it does with the EMV down into the flipper. So if you have that old style, you don't need, you can peel all the stuff off. But if you have it, and I'll go ahead and actually show you, because I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, because I'm gonna show you maintenance on the mag encoder while we're at it, and then, you know, put your screw on a magnetic plate or somewhere where you're not gonna lose it. But this trim piece just pops out, and so up in there, this is the encoder right there. So what we will do, since we do have that encoder, you could turn this off and take it off, and we'll take it, and you'll learn how to do that here in a minute when we talk about cleaning the magnetic encode head. All right, so just find a corner where it wants to peel. You're going to peel off the entire part back that says 3M, and then depending on your configuration, and then this one, we're going to leave that strip on, because this is what's going to go make contact with that magnetic encoding head. If you peel that off, it can stick onto it up in here and damage it. So it has arrows that tell you what direction to go. It's the same as if you're putting in a mag encode card. So first thing we're going to do is close that door. Don't put this in there until it boots up, because those rollers might turn and it could suck it in there prematurely. So you're just going to set it up in here. You got those two rollers just between those rollers, centered, with this side up and the arrow facing. It really doesn't matter how you put it in if you're removing this, because you're either have removed your encoder, or you don't have an encoder, or it's in the bay too. Alright, so now we're going to go to your computer, and again, this is Windows 7, but it's going to be the same for all the other versions of Windows. You're going to go to Devices and Printers, select your printer, which in this case this is a 5000, go to Printing Preferences, and we're going to click on Toolbox. One of the tabs in here, we've already covered the calibration of the ribbon and film. Click on Clean Printer. So it has instructions here as well. Remove the card, film laminate, remove the backing. Talks about removing the card hopper, the input tray, and the film and ribbon cartridges and all that. So we've already done all that. We've removed our cartridges. We've peeled everything except for the mag guard. We've inserted it centered in between those two rollers, and then we're just going to come over here and click Clean. So once you click Clean, as you can see here, it goes in, and it'll just go back and forth. You'll see it exit a little bit out of both sides, and what it's doing is collecting fuzz and dirt and debris on the rollers. And then it'll kick it out. So now, as you can see here, it picks up all kinds of stuff when you do that. If you don't have a mag encoder, and what I will do sometimes, it came out this way, I'll just flip it over and run it through again. If you removed all these, you don't have a mag encoder, I'll flip it over, run it through again by clicking Clean, because sometimes, like right here, this is not sticky at all. There was enough stuff on that particular part of the roller that it removed the tack. So if you flip it over, it's still tacky there. You can clean up the rest of it. Not necessary, that's just a practice that I've gotten into the habit of, because I noticed that sometimes there's enough debris and dirt and grime on there that it'll do that. So that's how you do the cleaning card. The next thing we'll do is take the big cleaning card. Again, open it up, we'll show you what it looks like. For those of you that have ever printed with zebra printers, it's similar to the cleaning cards in there, only it doesn't have that big end over here that's bigger. So what we're going to do is, if you open the door, if you are familiar with or watch the videos on clearing jams and things like that, once you open the door, it comes up with this option to go forward and back on the rollers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our card, same thing, center it and place it between those rollers there. I'll usually go ahead and take out my cleaning roller because you're going to be getting some alcohol transfer on there probably. So we'll center it, and then trying to do this one-handed might be difficult, but if I can get it shoved in there a bit. Okay, so now when we hit forward, it'll go in. What you're going to do is suck it in till it's just barely poking out a little bit. You can see it's going through into here. So the rollers on the inside in here, it's making contact there as well. So what you're going to do is I'm going to put this at an angle so you can see. Let's see if I can raise this up on the tripod so we can see a little bit better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab the end of this card, and we're going to hit forward, and that's turning the rollers while we're leaving the card in place. So it's going to clean any gunk off. You'll feel it once you do it for a few seconds. It starts getting tougher, and that's because it's cleaning stuff off these rollers, and they'll actually get more tacky. So if we go to the other side, what we can do is the same thing. We'll go forward until it comes out this end here, and then we'll go back while holding it. Let's do it for, I think the manual says 10 seconds, but I do it till I can kind of feel it getting more resistance, more pull on it. Run it through there a little bit, but that's just put forward until it comes out the end. And you can see that it takes off some of that. Some of the rollers start to feel a little bit hardened, whatever. That's a coating that builds up on them from debris and oils from fingers and all kinds of stuff that roll through there. So that can rejuvenate, clean those rollers up. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and look at, again, according to the manual, these are for cleaning the exterior, so you can use them for that if you'd like. I use them sometimes for cleaning some of the rollers off. Like for instance this one, if I see that this one needs to be tacky to pull the card in. If you can see things build up there, you can do the same forward and reverse. This one's not going to spin for that because it's on a separate motor, and it's only when it's feeding cards. But what you can do carefully is remove this pad. It's like a wet nap or wet one. You can clean it this way by rubbing that on there and then just manually, carefully, slowly turning it. Until you get, a 360. I'm going to unplug the printer now. Is what we can do also here is we've already removed this cover. There's a little hook here on this encoder. If you grab that hook and just pull firmly, this is the encoder that's in most of them. This is the encoding head right here. So you can take this and gently swab that head to clean build up off of it. And then once you're done, you can also use canned air if you have a blower. I use a blower. You can use canned air blower or your camera equipment if you have those little lens clean blowers and things. You can use any of that to kind of blow it out of there. But then you'll see there's two slots up in here on the left and the right, and that's where this slides in. So you look up in there, make sure that you get in those slots, carefully push it in, and then you'll feel a little bit of resistance and it'll snap into place. So now you could do this first if you'd like. You can pull this out, and then if you're going to clean that anyway, you can pull that out if you wanted to, and you could just remove this strip and run it through that way. But it's not necessary either way. But just make sure that if you don't pull this out first of all, make sure you unplug the printer and you're not doing it while it's on. If you're not going to pull this out, leave this strip on if you have an encoder. Alright, so we can install that back. Alright, so we've done all. That's the basic maintenance for the rollers and the mag encoder. And again, you can blow out these areas in here as well, just with the canned air. Same in here, you can lift this lid. It would be the same if you have the wide bay. There's a door that opens here that exposes the encoders. Again, this particular one, it just has the MV encoder in there, or the mag encoders in the printer. You can blow that out as well. Just be careful, don't drop anything in there, and don't torque anything. Other than that, yeah, it's just important that we use cards that have been sealed, that haven't been exposed to the elements, including humidity, even that can affect it. If you're keeping your ribbon and film, your supplies in the printer with the door shut, you can go ahead and install that back. Now, word of caution on this real quick. Make sure you do not over torque these screws. You just want it till it's barely firm. This is a Torx T10, by the way. If you over torque that, you'll strip it. It's just plastic behind there, so it's not. You don't over torque it, or you'll strip it out. But as long as you're keeping your ribbon and your film inside the printer and the door shut, you're fine. But if you have multiple, if you say you had the 84061 and 51 and 52, some of the others, and you're swapping them out, put them in a box that you'd close the lid, or get a best thing would be a plastic container with a lid or something. It keeps dust and all that off it, but also keep a little bit of the humidity and everything else away from it, because that can affect it. The cards, make sure they're clean and that they're sealed. Same thing, keep them out of the weather, humidity, and in a clean, dry environment. Some cards that come in pre-sealed packs of 100 or 50 or whatever. Some of them in bulk 500. So just keep them at a minimum. If you keep them in the boxes that most of them come in, similar to this, so that you can close them and keep the dust and debris off of them. Wash your hands. Oils can affect all that too. Other than that, just basic common sense of keeping your supplies out of humidity, clean environment, and the same with your cards. But that's the basic cleaning and maintenance, and that's it for this video.